Hello, hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hello, hi, good afternoon. So I'm Taya, I'm your host for today's English webinar, right? So it's my pleasure to guide through you for today's webinar with our title Empowering Resilience in Employee Strategies and Techniques for Effective Mental Health Wellness Coaching. So our esteemed speaker, who is an expert in his field, will generously share his knowledge and practical experiences with us. But let us not forget that our speaker alone will not make this webinar a success. It is each and every one of you, the participants, who contribute your unique perspective and valuable input, making this a collaborative and interactive experience. So I encourage you to actively engage in the conversations, ask questions, and share your thoughts in the chat or even Q&A sections at the end. So let's begin. Let's introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Edward Chan. Dr. Edward has a PhD in psychology, master's in science with learning, master's in nutritional medicine, bachelor of science with honors in psychology. Dr. Edward is a board-certified sex and couple therapy, fellow of the Malaysian Association for Psychotherapy, board member of the International Society for Psychotherapy, Counseling and Psychiatry, fellow of the World Council for Psychotherapy, invited speaker of LPPKN, Ministry of Women and Social Unity, Family Health Forum. Dr. Edward is also the invited speaker for the 9th World Congress for Psychotherapy, keynote speaker for the International Psychotherapy Counseling and Psychiatry Conference, invited speaker for the 37th European Psychiatry Conference on Couple Schema Chemistry, author of Love May Not Be Enough, co-author of Handbook of the Current Research and Practices on Cognitive Behavioral Therapy CBT in Asia. Dr. Edward also published in the Journal for Reattach Therapy and Development Diversities, published in the Journal Cognitive Theory and Research, published in the International Journal of Psychiatry, accredited reattached therapist, and accredited Amen Clinics therapist. So welcome, Dr. Edward. Dr. Edward will be joining in soon. He's trying to join right now. Can anybody listen to Dr. Edward? Let's just wait another few minutes while we welcome Dr. Edward. I think he's in between meetings right now. Okay, so while waiting for Dr. Edward, so who do we have here? So we have Mr. John and Miss Esther, is it? So what is your expectation with today's webinar? Do you have any expectations? So do you have any questions in mind that you'd like to ask Dr. Edward later? How about is there any objectives that you like to join today's webinar? Maybe you are experiencing any conflict at workplace, probably with your boss or with your colleague, that you need some strategies on or to know more about what is wellness coaching about. Any questions? Hello, John. I think you said something just now. Would you like to ask any questions?
Hi, Viva. Well,
Hello.
no, I'm attending this session with a very open mind because
Okay, that's great.
it's always good to have a take from someone who is experienced like Dr. Edward. No, so I think I'll reserve my comments later.
Later.
But more
Okay.
importantly is to see how this this session or this webinar is going, in terms of its direction.
Okay.
Of course,
Thank you.
my question in my mind is this more directed towards employers or more directed towards employees?
Right.
Looking at the title, it's actually more employees, so this is the this is the part that I'm now looking at now.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think Dr. Edward is in. Good afternoon, doctor.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Right.
Right.
I hear some question from John, which we'll be happy to address. Right. Of course, the question is both for employees and employers, right? We at IPC we have this mental health wellness coaching services for many organizations, and excuse me, and of course the client is the employer, right? But then they provide the service for their employees, right? So we have a lot of multinational companies, governmental agencies, as you know, that will provide these services. So our client is the employer, but of course the services are for the employees, right? So there are like for example, in one of the clients that you are involved with, Taya, there are quarterly surveys, right, done on the satisfaction of the employees or about the services. They even do a rating on the wellness coaches. So definitely the employer will look at these, on the benefits of the employees, right? So it is for both, right? But then but it's a good question. Who is our client, right? I mean, the one paying is an employer. So in a way, our client is the employer. We have to satisfy them. But the real clients will be the employees, right? Because we are doing the sessions for them, right? So it's an interesting question, and the answer is a bit complex, I guess.
Complex sentence. Right. So doctor, right. So what are some common signs and symptoms of mental health challenges that employees may experience in workplace?
Well, I mean, these are no different from from our individual private clients or patients, right? So in an organization, we look at stress, of course, as one of the main issue, right? And when an employee is stressed in an organization, it is infectious, right? Highly infectious, in fact. So I don't know whether you have and I hope our team there, to walk into a room where one of a team member might be stressed out or depressed or anxious, and very soon, the whole team will be affected. So stress is infectious in that sense, right? And when you're under stress, your social skin, right, is thinner in a way, right? Which means you're more irritable, you're more sensitive to other people's comments, to things that might be neutral, you will interpret it negatively, right? So your social layer of your social skin is thinner in that sense, right? So these are one of the symptoms. You feel that someone has something wrong, that they're highly stressed, that can be easily picked up. Maybe something is going on with them, and they're quick to anger. Maybe they're more tired, right? Maybe they're more introverted than usual. Yeah. So these are some of the signs that you can observe in the work environment, right? Of course, that they are more unproductive, taking longer breaks, yeah. Maybe you've got other things to add from your experience of coaching employees. What do you think, Diane?
Right, doctor. I think a change of personalities also kinds of is a sign, right? So someone who's very extroverted, who comes to work on time all the time, but now suddenly is lacking in a lot of ways, coming to work late and not being very productive as usual. So those are very simple signs that you can also observe among employees.
Yeah, like a normally extroverted person will be more introverted. Yeah, that would be a common symptom.
Right.
of sure. Yeah, that's right.
Right. Thank you, doctor. And how can organizations create a supportive and stigma-free environment for employees to seek mental health support?
Well, of course, like many of our organizations that our client, they have these mental health wellness coaching services, which can come under the service called Employees Assistance Program, right? That we will have offer to organizations, right? So when organizations have this program for their employees, it is a form of formal support, right? So in terms of support, and that there can be formal and informal support, right? That an organization can give, right? Formal support will be purchasing an EAP program, right? A mental health wellness program that the employee can reach out for free, and some organization, some of our clients even provide this for the immediate family of employees as well. Not only employees can have access to these counseling services, but even their immediate family members, their spouse, their children can do that as well, right? So so that would be so the thing about support is you cannot be neutral, right? As an employer, if you're neutral, then employee will perceive that as being unsupportive. You know, you're not like giving support. You will be perceived as being unsupportive, right? So either you are supportive or you are not, right? You cannot be neutrally supportive. So that's my take. So the EAP services like EAP is considered as a perk, right? In many organizations, just like medical, healthcare services, you know, your subscription to the gym, right? It can be considered in that similar manner as a formal support. So on the informal support, you know, you can have like mental health days, have a booth like many organizations. Like recently we went to Kosan, you know, the very big glove manufacturing, and they have a open they have a health open day, right? And they invited us to have a booth there for mental health. So these are like more like informal support that they can have, maybe even like coffee time, a talk, you know. So this is like more informal support that can be have. You know? So it can be formal and informal. You know, the question is how to promote a culture of you know, a supportive culture for mental wellness, right? So there's definitely a lot organizations can do for that.
So organizations should also provide the resources and of course support, like what Dr. mentioned.
Yeah, and one of the things that we used to do for our organization is something called alternative wellness, right? So the things that can be a bit fun, like laughter yoga, right? It is not like serious counseling, but they help employees to have a sense of togetherness, you know, a rapport to connect, you know, maybe like art. We also did that before, an art competition, you know, for an organization. Employees like do the pieces of art, and we give comments on it. So this is called alternative wellness, right? So things like that is more like informal support that the organization can do as well. You know, of course, we have now serious art therapy courses, but you know, this like some way towards that.
Right? Sounds good. Sounds good, Doctor. All right. So, are there any specific challenges or consideration when providing mental health wellness coaching in a remote or hybrid work environment?
Sorry, any challenges of mental wellness program?
Of providing the wellness program in a remote or hybrid environment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, thanks to the pandemic, right? I mean, like now we're having this webinar. People are more open, more used to do it. So I think on online services, you know, on online portals really help to reach out to the remote areas, you know, like our courses. We have people from Cebu, from you know, all the different locations of Malaysia joining. So that is great, and we also have of course psychological services, you know, we are online as well, and we can do a lot. I think we in some of our courses we do have online counseling, you know, courses where we teach students how to do that. We can even have role plays, empty chairs, do a lot. The only challenge, of course, is child therapy, right? Especially children with special needs. That I don't think we can probably do too well online, and unless we have like the guardian next to the child, some therapeutic effect can still be achieved in that way, right? Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. How can managers and supervisors be trained to support employees' mental health and resilience within their team?
Well, and this is something that we need to continuously provide. We have been invited, International Psychology Center to give training, like counseling training to managers, supervisors, or just mental health talks. I think more education and awareness need to be done, right? Like you mentioned, to destigmatize mental health. So yes, a lot more awareness and training, outreach to managers, to inculcate a culture of support for mental wellness. I think would be needed to do that, right? And of course, for such a program like the employee assistance program, which we do have leaders to also get involved themselves in the sessions, right? So they can experience firsthand what it's like to receive counseling or therapy, right? To talk freely, to be willing to talk about stress, about vulnerabilities, right? So that is something we need to convey, right? Vulnerability doesn't mean you are less of a leader, to have anxiety, to have stress is only part of being human, and in fact, unless you are able to embrace your vulnerability, then you can not be more effective as a leader, I would say, right? The power of vulnerability, as Brené Brown saying, right?
Thank you, Doctor. I think that makes sense. Like, so also to convey to the leaders that there are other parts of leadership skills, like vulnerability, which maybe it didn't come across for them. For them, it's more to maybe just active listening and other leadership skills. And I think this is a new part where they have to incorporate to reach out to their employees as well.
Yeah, I mean, in order for intimacy and real rapport to be built between the leaders and employee, right? The leader need to show in appropriate time the vulnerability, right? So that employee team members can relate more to them, right? In a meaningful way, right? I would think that, yeah. So that's true.
So related to the hybrid work environment. So what can the role of technology play in supporting mental health wellness coaching initiatives?
Well, I mean, in terms of online portal, it goes a long way, to be able to reach out to employees. That definitely, right? So that's is something that is very welcome, and more employees the used to that. So that would be the like we say, the benefits of technology, right? But beyond that, right? With with AI and all that, we can even have potentially. I mean, in our in IPC itself, right? We have already implementing AI to like mark, because I see some of the students here. We already have implemented AI to do the assessment, right? So we will submit a video, for example, of me being a master practitioner with some patient, right? For the AI to like dissect, and then the student will have a practice with their patient, and that will get submitted, and then the AI will do a comparison, and see what are the gaps, and what recommendations to give a student, and even score the assessment, right? So we are implementing that. We have our AI programmer doing that, so that should be out by the end of the year. So that they are like instead of us like looking at hundreds of videos of our students, the AI will do that until the the student practitioner has like reached like 80% or something. Then we will our faculty will look at it and do the final assessment. I mean, we still need to be involved, but we can leverage on a lot of technology, right? To do a lot of clinical work and even training. So that is how we see it, and maybe we can have like a general AI therapist there. I'm not sure whether that is like a positive thing or not, to be honest, because AI will never be a replacement with a human therapist. I would think, right? But maybe it can be introduced as something of a flavor for people who are like having some fear of seeing a real therapist, for them to get an experience, before they get see a real therapist, that's a possibility of that, we can like put that on a website, having an experience with AI therapists.
Doctor, do you believe that could happen someday? AI therapies?
No, yeah, it is already happening. Like I know you can find Esther Perel. She's a very famous couple therapist. There's an AI version of her, which she try to discredit and say it's never as good as her. But then the feedback is very good. People feel they get a lot. It is her style. But of course it is a bit general. But it is quite good for a lot of people. Right?
That would be quite interesting to have a session with the AI therapist.
Hmm.
All right, Doctor, thank you. So, are there any specific cultural considerations that needs to be addressed when implementing mental health wellness coaching initiatives in a diverse workplace?
Well, yes, of course, as far as possible, you want to match the I mean, in Malaysia, we have diverse multicultural community, right? Which is why in our coaches that we provide for organizations, we provide with a team of diverse coaches with a diverse background, both genders, sexuality, religion, ethnicity. So we do that as far as possible, right? But of course, as professionals, we are also trained to be able to pace and match the cultural background of our clients, right? Even though, I mean, it is impossible to to totally match the background of the clients, of course, right? But as far as possible, we try to provide some matching. But on the other hand, as professionals, we are trained to be able to enter into the world of our clients, even though they are from a diverse, different background as ours, right? That is something that we are trained to do, how to get into the world of the clients, and then hopefully get them to see a little bit of our world too. But first, we have to get into the world for sure. Right.
Thank you, Doctor. All right, most interestingly, can you share a success story or case study highlighting the positive impact of mental health wellness coaching on employee resilience and well-being? Any interesting success stories that Doctor could share?
Well, I mean, we have like some of our students are familiar with the the schema questionnaire, right? The YSQ Young schema questionnaire. So we have used that as a way to measure resiliency, right? And at the beginning of the program, and then towards the end of the year of the program, and we have found reduction in some of the maladaptive schema, right? Like the angry child, mode, some of the detached protector mode and schema, and an increase in the healthy adult schema, right? So we have found that in the survey of a few thousand employees, right? That which is like a testimony of the value of this wellness coaching program for employees. So yes, at the end of the day, employers, companies that would want to have to look at some sort of what they call that return of investment, right? ROI, which that they of course have the right to do so. So how do we provide that, right? One is in the drop in the MCs, right? In the drop in the turnover of staff, because turnover costs companies money, right? You have to spend money in recruiting, right? So that will be some of the data that have shown, positive ROI. But on top of that, we do our own, like I mentioned, the survey that has been conducted, but also some of these more technical psychometric tools that we use, to measure the therapeutic effect, therapeutic outcome of wellness coaching. Right? So that those are some of the success story. But in terms of personal ones, I don't know, maybe Taya, you have done some which you can also share, right?
Right. Yeah. So I do have some cases that have been going through with a client under EAP. for over a year now.
Mm,
So I have clients who are having anxiety and depression, and just to make them realize that sometimes progress is also ups and downs. Because some of them get very frustrated when they didn't do quite well for the past 1 to 2 weeks, and they feel like I need to start from zero all over again. But just to let them know that sometimes ups and downs are also progress, and to have their mind a little bit open about their situations that they have to go through every day. Learning about the patterns of others will also make them understand themselves better. Like recently, my client was complaining about how the other workers in her company are having bad times, and instead of dealing with their issues, they pour it out on her. They start lashing out and they find faults in her. And she did realize at the end of the day that maybe it's not all about her. It's that they have personal issues that they are dealing with, but they let it out on her. So that took some time for her to understand that as well. So plus someone who goes through depression, sometimes their decisions or the way they think can be quite blurry and cloudy. So they need a third person to make them aware and get back to their conscious mind that certain things happen for a reason. Remind them that there are things that is out of their control and there are some things that is in their control. So why not just focusing what you can control instead of things that you can't control at all? It's going to rain today, it's going to rain today. There's nothing that you can do about it.
I think there was famous saying by the Kipling, wasn't it? You know, I pray for the insight to know, you know, what things that I can do, which is under my control, and things which I you know is outside my control, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? So I
Right.
think that's Kipling's quote on that, but very true, right? So yes, in mental health, wellness, you know, the problem, as we say, as Virginia Satir say, you know, which is one of the pioneer of family therapy, right? That the problem is never the problem, but in fact, what is the problem? That's a question for those
The
present.
reaction towards the problem.
The coping to the problem can be the problem, right? But the problem is never the problem, which is why, you know, when we talk about stress, so we need to make a distinction between stress and pressure, right? So pressure is always neutral, right? So our president, our prime minister, I'm sure have so much more pressure than us, right? Have to run the whole country, but he might or might not be stressed. So if he knows how to manage the pressure, have a team, you know, and which is why CEO get paid a lot more, you know, money, and I'm sure a prime minister get paid a lot more money to be able to handle all those pressure without letting it turn into stress, right? So stress is when the pressure, you're coping with the pressure becomes negative, right? So you allow the pressure to affect you negatively, right? So that is stress, right? But the pressure does not equal stress, you know? So then the question is, how come that the same amount of pressure can lead to stress in some people and not in others? And then this is what we call resilience, right? And this is the one of the key objective in this mental wellness coaching in organization to build resilience in employees, right, and their teams. So how do you explain that, Taya and everyone here, how come some employees have more resilience than others?
Resilience, it means that you can go through the stress and recover from it, right? So that is high resilience.
No, they can go through the pressure without, well, first of all, they can go through the pressure without getting stressed. That would be ideal. But then secondly, like you say, yeah, they can go stress and then recover, right? Like I play heavy tennis and I can recover by tomorrow and then play again, right? But resilience in that way, right? But ideally, they don't even get stressed in the first place, right? So that's the question. How is that done? How do you coach, your employees to be more resilient? So what do you do, Taya, to develop resilience?
So we have a comment from Esther. The individuals are able to find their coping mechanism.
So what do you actually mean by that, Esther? Individuals are able to find their own coping mechanism. Does that mean like different individuals have different ways of coping, and they need to find their own ways of coping that work for them?
Is it yes? Yeah. Or is it also like a growth mindset?
Yes, I like that term, post-traumatic growth syndrome. Instead of post-traumatic stress syndrome, it's post-traumatic growth syndrome. So the trauma can be used as an opportunity for growth rather than stress, right? So potentially, well, going back to the pressure, right? An event, even a pressurized event, can either be traumatic, stress, or an opportunity for growth, right? It depends on our interpretation, of that event. So the event itself is neutral, actually, no matter how potentially traumatic it is, right? All events are neutral. It depends on our interpretation, so that there is a lot of stories on this. I'm sure that we can talk about. Say like an affair, right? Which we have a lot of couples coming to see us, and even in the wellness coaching, we have employees that have been betrayed or betraying their partners. So these events can either be a deal breaker, right, for many, or it can be an opportunity to know the needs of each other more, right, and lead to even more intimate connection and relationship for many of our clients, right? So the event itself is neutral, regardless of what that the employee bring to us. So we need to provide this facility to help the employee see that the event itself can be interpreted in different ways, and in fact we need to provide this process called reframing, right? For our clients, right? This is a NLP term, reframing, right? Which it is like I don't know whether you can see a picture behind me. I think you see a little bit, not very clearly, but it depends on where I put the focus on the frame, right? There are multiple angle I can do. So we have a choice, and as a therapist, we can facilitate this reframing, in different ways. So like an affair, right? It is an opportunity for me to know the needs of my partner more, would be a reframe, as opposed to I'm betrayed and this is terrible, and yeah, how can she do this to me, sort of thing, right? So it's different interpretation, different frame, and some frame are the promoting growth, some would be detrimental, right? So so in terms of getting back to resilience, it is about having the right frame, the resilience way of interpreting events, that looking at opportunities for growth, right? Rather than the event being traumatic and affecting our mental health, increasing our fear and anxieties and stress, right? So all these are a matter of choice the employees can have, but then the therapists need to be able to facilitate this, to always empower the employee to be able to be aware that they have a choice, right? To choose growth or stress. All right.
Thank you, Doctor. All right, so last question before we go into our Q&A for a while. So what are some self-care practices that employees can incorporate into their daily routines to enhance their mental health and resilience? Maybe any personal tips that Dr. would like to share?
Well, I mean, yes, that definitely ritual is very important, right? I can share with you some of my personal ritual, right? The first thing I would do in the morning, I'm blessed. I know you've been to my house. I have a lovely garden there, so I would get a big glass of hydrogenated water to hydrate myself and be under the sun, right? Looking at the greens, to reset my circadian rhythm. So sleep is very important, and if you do this, then it will help you to have a better sleep, right? To stay grounded, with the ground, shoeless if possible, to feel the earth. And if you can, incorporate some form of meditation in your life, awareness, it doesn't have to be religious per se, but to be aware of yourself. So a good meditation I do is to be aware of the different parts of me, right? The different cells, right? So you might ask some of our intent to show that the book Embracing Ourselves. So the point is we all have different sides of us, different parts, it can be different modes. But to know that we are not identified, right, in the stress cell or the vulnerable cell, all these are just different part of us, right? To be able to always choose which cell we want to surface, right? But you need to have some meditation, on that. So I can see Olia showing the book Embracing Ourselves, right? Can you show it again, Olia? Yeah, the book. Yes, yeah, Embracing Ourselves. Yeah, show it. yeah, so that is the book by Houston. It's a Jungian, right? So I practice the meditation according to that, right? To have increase. And of course, I I before this I was just speaking to my therapist. So even I have a therapist myself to like clear things, be aware of my baggages we all have. That is important for our mental health. Even though I don't have like pressing issues, but just for growth, I will do that. And of course then we have our supervision and all that. So physical, mental health practices, it's all part of a holistic ritual that I would incorporate. And last but not least, our social world, right? Not only with my partner, but our friends, to take time to invest in that, right? I spent like 16 years in England, and one of the very good practice that we have there is inviting some friends over for dinner, but I think this is practiced by very little in Malaysia, right? So I think that is a good practice we can borrow from Westerners to have, hang out, chill out with friends, and family, friends, with your partners, include them. That would be good. Of course, it's good to have our own friends as well. So these are some of the practices I do myself. Maybe you have others, Taya.
That was very good plan. But I think I take some of doctor's points very seriously as well. Like sleep, I take sleep very importantly. I should get my 8 hours sleep every day. If not, probably I'm not myself. So yeah, sleeping is very important. And hydrate myself. So I think so it's very simple, but I think that is one of the most important thing that I practice as well as a routine. So yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much, doctor. And before we wrap up, do we have any questions from the floor? I think John was quite excited to ask some questions, so share some. Any questions at all? Anybody else?
Thank you, Lani.
go ahead.
Well, I think that's quite a fair bit to chew on from Doctor. I also realized that there's a lot of self-care that prescribed by doctor, which will actually be very helpful to employees. I think most of the times employers expect employees to be able to take care of themselves. So I think the advice from doctor is very timely. More importantly is he mentions what he call maybe the good practice that he has acquired from overseas, and I totally agree with him. I think nowadays we are becoming less and less hospitable, so maybe that's something that's not good for us. But his advice are always is taken with in healthy doses. So I think we should listen and follow what he says we must do. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anybody else would like to?
I think that there's a question from Esther on the chat box.
Okay, yes. So in what ways can leaders and team members within an organization restore and improve overall morale, especially when individuals are feeling weary and discontented?
Right. So let me look at it directly. So I'm not sure where. Oh yeah, it is here. Yeah, feeling weary and discontented. How to improve morale? Well, I think it is a good practice. First of all, to have regular activities you know Daya in one of our coach um, team. We have like regular activities. It can just be a dinner.
Yeah.
Last activity was in a bowling session we
Right.
will have, right? So all these are a good activity to increase morale of the team, to have the fellowship to together, to start with. But there is a specific activity that was introduced by Virginia Satir, right? I'm not sure whether Daya you have contacted that with me, but it started with Satir going on camp. She brings whole family into the woods in United States, right? And in one of these camp, a little boy killed I think it was a beaver or something, right? And all the other family members, the other children, they were horrified. They were like judging, how can this boy be so cruel and all that. So the whole feeling of the team was very much affected. They're under stress. So then one of the little girls said, why don't we talk about something fuzzy, right? So then Virginia developed this dialogue. It's called temperature reading. So the whole team get together and they share, first of all, something fuzzy. That means something they appreciate, right? They appreciate either in themselves or in the environment, in the team, and then moving down like a traditional temperature. Then they move down something that they have maybe some discontent about. So it's an opportunity to speak up, but then they need to take responsibility, right? What I would recommend, what I would do about this, not just complaining and then leave it and blame others, right? And then all the way down to like something that new that I want to share, something that look forward to. So it's a series of steps that can be done to like bring the whole team together to increase morale. Look it up. It's called temperature reading by Virginia Satir. It's in the YouTube, right? It's something that I would recommend for teams to do, and it has been incorporated in many corporate organizations. This is what started as a like family camp thing, right?
All right. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, doctor, for that. Very nice. Yes. So look up temperature reading. A lot to learn. You can practice this within even family members or colleagues,
Yes,
team
couples,
members. Yeah, it's a great activity. So I would like to extend my appreciation to our speaker, Dr. Edward, whose passion, knowledge, and dedication have been driving force behind the success of this event. And it has been an honor and privilege to serve you as your host throughout this webinar. And I hope that our paths will cross again in the future. So thank you and farewell. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
lovely
you.
evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Daya.
Thank you, doctor.